Hi guys, welcome back, or if you're new, welcome to our channel. My name is Micah. I'm one half of this channel, but today we're going to be doing a totally new type of video. I took a poll on Instagram with my fingers crossed, asking if anyone would be interested in seeing some home decor slash DIY type of videos, because it's not something we have on our channel, but that's probably what I personally watch the most. So I was delighted to see that I think it was 100%, if not it was in the 90s. Everyone agreed that they're okay with some home decor slash DIY videos. So the first home decor slash DIY video is going to be about these two nightstands behind me. It is how I turned them from this into this. It was pretty simple, but I do just want to share some tips and the products that I used. I personally was on the hunt for something similar to these, but could not find it for less than a couple $100. And honestly, these together is barely 100, I think, for the both of them. So it was a great deal, definitely budget friendly, but honestly I was having a hard time finding exactly these, and they're exactly what I wanted. So I'm super happy with them. Hope you guys take some of this advice and maybe recreate it. So let's get right into the video. Okay, so first things, where did I get the nightstands? I got these two from IKEA. They are this one, and they are only $39.99, which is super cheap, but they are completely unfinished, unstained. They come with very traditional looking little knobs. So we brought those home, put them all together. My husband put them together. I hate putting together IKEA furniture. I love the price. I love a lot of the styles, but honestly putting IKEA furniture together is so frustrating to me. It takes hours, but he's really good at it. He got these put together, so then it was my turn to start staining. So when it comes to staining, especially these nightstands, you have to use a pre-stain. These nightstands are made out of pine, and it's a very dry wood. So if you go in immediately with stain, the probability of it being super blotchy is so high, because as soon as that dye hits the wood, it stays there. It's so dry that it just sucks up the liquid immediately, and it's gonna end up really splotchy. So use a pre-stain, make sure you get all the dust off, and then go in with the pre-stain. So I took a rag. I honestly cut up a dish rag. Again, this is not so much a how to stain and condition wood, but more of like what I did, and you might can learn from me a little bit. So yeah, I took the pre-stain on a cut up dish rag, and I just slowly started wiping it on. It's really important that you get this everywhere, because like I said, if you miss one spot, then the probability of that one little spot that didn't have pre-stain being darker than the rest is really high, because it's just gonna soak in all of that stain immediately. So once you have the pre-stain on, you wait 5 to 15 minutes before you start applying the stain. I usually don't wait the full 15. So after 5 minutes, I went ahead and started wiping on my stain. So for this project, I used Special Walnut by Minwax. It has got to be my favorite color of stain. I think it just provides such a beautiful, natural, like medium wood tone. I would use it for pretty much anything, if I'm being honest. So yeah, this is definitely my go-to. Highly recommend it. But you can absolutely use any color of stain. So then it was time to start staining. So the biggest thing I can tell you when it comes to staining is start off in thin layers and build it up as much as you want. Don't go in and immediately just soak it in stain, because once it's stained, you just really can't take that back. Something to remember whenever you are applying the stain is to apply the stain with the grain of the wood. If you go against it, it's gonna pull up all of those little grains and dye the underneath of them that haven't got to be pre-stained, and it ends up just looking really spotty. So if you only take one thing out of this video, remember, apply your stain with the grain of the wood. So I let that first coat dry for a few hours, and then I went in with my second coat. The first coat just didn't give me that really deep color that I was wanting, so I went with a second coat. So after you get however many coats on there that you want and everything is fully dry, you're gonna go in with a top coat. So I'm using an oil-based polyurethane. So there are two types of polyurethane, water-based and an oil-based. Most people will choose water or oil depending on what stain they used, a water stain or an oil stain. The biggest difference between a water and oil polyurethane is that oil polyurethane leaves a slightly warm, almost yellowy tint to the wood once it has dried, and a water polyurethane does not really leave much of a tint at all. So if you are completely content with how your stain turned out and you don't want it to change whatsoever, I would recommend using a water polyurethane, but in this case I did want some more warm tone, and my stain was an oil-based as well, so I went with an oil-based.
So I'm going to tell you, polyurethane stinks. It's so strong, it burns my eyes. So I did this outside. If you do this in a room, that room is going to smell like polyurethane for months. So I highly recommend to do it outside.
Some tips when preparing and applying polyurethane is, this is the top coat. So imagine even painting a wall. If there's anything on that wall, you know once you roll the paint over, it's going to be stuck onto the wall. It's the same as these nightstands. So it's important to get all of the dust and debris off of your nightstands before you start to apply the polyurethane. So it's important that the polyurethane is evenly applied. So most people will use a sponge. So in this case, the only thing I had was the little handheld sponge that comes with art kits. So I just took those. It worked out fine for me, but I'm sure there are more professional ways to apply it. I just didn't. So once your first layer of polyurethane is applied and has dried, you're gonna go in with a high grit sandpaper. Mine was between 200 and 300. I bought a sandpaper block. It's a lot easier to work with than just paper itself. And so I took that and sanded all of the surfaces of the nightstand where I had applied the polyurethane. So once I was done sanding, I went back, wiped the whole nightstand down, made sure there was no more dust, debris, sawdust, anything like that, and started to apply the second coat of polyurethane. After the second coat of polyurethane, I felt like that was enough for these nightstands. It's not something I'm gonna like have a drink set on often that could, you know, leave a ring or need more protection, but you absolutely can. Just repeat the last step, sand it down again, and apply as many coats as you want. But 2 coats were enough for me. So after that, the staining and protecting process is done. So the last and final step in this process was to choose what hardware to put on them. So it comes with that wooden little knob. If you're into that, go for it. I personally wanted something a little more minimalistic. I wanted it to be black. So I went with these tiny little black handles, but again, this is definitely something that you can customize yourself and switch out. So I'll probably switch these out in a year or so to something else, and it'll make it feel like a new nightstand. So once I put on the new hardware, they were done. I absolutely love these. They're exactly what I was wanting. I got them for a fraction of the cost, and I was able to customize them and make them exactly how I wanted, and I really love that. Leave a comment and let me know how you guys think I did for my first DIY video. I personally love the final product, but I love to know you guys' opinion. Subscribe to us if you haven't already. We have more exciting videos coming up, and we recently moved, so we have a lot more opportunity and a lot more filming space now, so we're super excited about that. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!